The Boone County Health Department makes room in its Sheriff's Department for a program that supports community members. In 2019, the Boone County Health Department began the Community Outreach Advocacy and Recovery Program, or COAR. The program, built to address needs in the community, allows staff to link people to behavioral health services or needs. Project leaders understand behavioral health is a broad term, but the program covers a wide range of issues like domestic violence, mental health, and substance use, I should say. The facility at 1455 McKinley Avenue will also house the coroner's office to improve collaboration. Now that the program has 4 walls and a door, leaders hope more residents will take advantage of it.
So watching the positive numbers grow and the negative numbers decrease is what we're all about in public health. That's what we're looking for, is to see better outcomes in what the population is needing and how their health is. And we believe that this program is contributing to those healthy outcomes.
The facility is open to the public now, but the official ribbon cutting will take place at 4:30 Tuesday afternoon.